This video was produced by the Department of Homeland Security like a scene out of a movie. Law enforcement rappelling from helicopters and storming a building on the south side of Chicago in September during an immigration raid, resulting in the arrest of 37 people. Now, 18 people from the building are claiming in new filings they were victims of an unprecedented militarized raid that resulted in emotional trauma, physical injuries, and brutal detention, as well as property damage and loss. Specifically, one man, Jose Miguel Jimenez Lopez, claimed an agent upon pointing his gun at Mr. Jimenez. One agent said to the other agents, "Here's another one." And that later, when he presented a City of Chicago ID card, the agents falsely claimed his identification was not real, and they physically broke the ID card in front of him. Another said when he was on the floor and zip-tied, agents asked him if he was Tren de Aragua. Not everyone is identified by name in these claims. One 6-year-old, ID'd simply as JM, was woken up as the complaint says agents broke down the door to the apartment and entered the bedroom pointing large guns at JM's family, flashing lights and shouting to get out.
It looked like something out of a military action abroad.
Nicole Hallett is one of many attorneys representing these administrative claims, which are a required prerequisite to a lawsuit against the federal government.
What we're trying to do in this lawsuit is hold the federal government accountable for what it did to them and to try to seek justice for them and make a point that the federal government cannot do this kind of thing without there being consequences.
Not long after the raid, federal officials defended their tactics.
We had 300 law enforcement officers in and around that 5-story apartment going after those Tren de Aragua members. That overwhelming force does keep our agents safe.
The Department of Homeland Security said Thursday the operation resulted in the arrest of 2 confirmed Tren de Aragua members, though no one was ever federally charged in that jurisdiction, according to the Northern District of Illinois. Many were detained and eventually removed from the country, Hallett says. But for her, pushing back on the tactics used to detain people that night represents more than just their case.
This is not just about this one particular raid, but it's really about standing up to the government and saying this is not acceptable.
And by the way, the 2 people we mentioned as part of these claims are not part of Tren de Aragua, as their attorneys tell us. Now, we also reached out to the Department of Homeland Security, who told us in part that this operation was in full compliance of the law as they defended it. But then when you zoom out in terms of those bringing these actual claims, this is just the latest in a number of similar legal efforts happening in places across the country tied to immigration enforcement tactics, trying to get to a form of government accountability.